Welcome back. This is Imaginary Me, and I'm very pleased once again to have Rami here in the house on this podcast. This is our second conversation, Rami. It's so good to see you again, and I look forward to talking with you.
Same
We got
here.
we got such a great response from our last conversation, and we have so
Yeah,
much left to talk about. There's so
so
many
true.
things. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, Rami, of course, is the author of Peace at Last, which I highly recommend that everyone go and check out. It is a great little book with some packed with some great insights. So if you haven't seen Rami's book, please go out and look at it. And your website, Rami, is your,
Yournaturalstate.com.
yournaturalstate.com. Check that
Yeah.
out too. Very
Yes.
good. Okay.
Yeah.
And Rami also does consultation. So if you want to talk with Rami one-on-one, you are certainly welcome to reach out for that. So, Rami, we have a lot. We have so many things, it's hard to know where to begin. But you gave some great suggestions about what we could discuss
Mhm.
today. There's a lot of interest out there about
Mhm.
various things like meditation practices. What happened during the transition between uh, pre-self-realization and post-self-realization? What are the differences in your day-to-day experience with work and family and stress or lack of stress, all of that kind of stuff? Seem to be quite interested
Yeah.
in these things, and I thought maybe we could touch on some of that. I did have an initial question for you about practices. I put out a video not too long ago about certain practices that I like to do, like energy work that
Mhm.
don't lead to self-realization, but they're complementary. And I know you do the Enneagram.
Mhm.
Am I pronouncing that correctly? I
Yes,
hope.
you are.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right.
Yeah.
Um, what if somebody asks you, Rami, what practices would you
Mhm.
recommend for me? Meditation or breath work or whatever. Well, first of all, do you have anything that you like to practice? And what is your view of practices regarding
Mhm.
non-duality or self-realization?
Well, really nice question and really different, I think, per person. You
Hmm.
could say what works and what doesn't. For me, uh, no practice.
Hmm.
Having said that, a couple of things that, well, first of all, no, I have to say what you said, it doesn't lead to self-realization, but it helps, right? What did
Hmm.
you say? Like it's not a cause for it, but it can sort of re-trigger the feeling of bliss or of effortless being. So that's for sure. But one thing it for me didn't do was lead to self-realization. So I've been doing yoga, meditation, zazen, the Japanese, sitting for hours, not moving with a stick, etc. For me, it didn't work. It doesn't say anything about anyone else. For me, that was not the way. Um, what I do, especially when I create the situation of being awake and relaxed at the same time. So don't do it lying down in bed or on the couch because you will probably fall asleep, at least in my experience. But driving a car or taking a shower consciously, those two things where you can't fall asleep because, well, you don't want an accident and you don't want to fall in the shower. And at the same time, it's relaxing. It's really relaxing situations. Those moments usually trigger an extra experience of effortless being because there's no distraction going on. There is I amness, there is awareness of being, and that immediately brings this juicy, delightful feeling of, oh, wow, what a miracle. I exist. There is
Hmm.
exist.
Tell
So
me
I've
more
looked
about
at
the
that.
driving one. I'm curious about that.
This is also where my book happened. For some reason, driving, because you have to, at least, let's say, you have to pay a minimum amount of attention not to crash your car. So that's
Yes.
that's one, right? And that is where your mind is occupied. So it's always helpful, especially for the thinkers among us that are very active in analyzing, thinking all the time. Give the mind something to do. And for me, it's driving a car because there's a sort of, a task at hand that needs to be done, even though it's almost an automatic pilot, but still, your life and you're driving in so-called real life. So the mind is occupied and can't get involved in effortless being.
Hmm.
That sort of shuts up this inner voice that can otherwise intrude into your experience and comment on everything or tell you, it's not the moment to meditate. Oh no, it won't happen.
Hmm.
What could come up. So keep it occupied as you would a 3-year-old child. Give it something to do. And then it almost happens automatically. You feel yourself sitting on the seats, you feel the air, and you also see the things coming and going literally because you're driving.
Hmm.
And it is actually the exact same experience you have if you're in the I am, in effortless being, because in reality, you are stationary. You do not move. I don't move ever. Things
Hmm.
appear and disappear in your awareness. And in a sort of human way, I don't know, Earth way on this planet, it emulates that experience, the car driving. So that's why I like it a lot. And that's where all the creativity comes up as well.
And your
And the
book
title of
arose from that
the title of
experience.
the book, the chapters, all of it, it all came driving. And then thinking, oh, I hope I remember this. Sometimes you have to make notes, but
We
so
are
it
this
those
still
two
center
things.
that never
Yeah,
moves. We
no,
allow all
exactly.
movement within us. Yeah, we,
Exactly.
we never go anywhere and nothing ever
You
happens.
never, no, so incredible. And this is like a little reminder of that
Mm.
this is how it really is. And if you just want to have that as a sort of, you know, a little push, little nudge into effortless being, I
Hmm.
can recommend it. I can really recommend it. It's just like a carbon copy of the real thing, but it tends to bring you into the real thing, in my
Hmm.
experience. And another thing is maybe I don't know if I mentioned it last time, but if you make a list of your main triggers, the main so-called invitations into thinking, into psychological suffering, anything, any reason that comes up to the question, why am I not happy right now? So what could be
Mm.
there? What are reasons for me to not be happy and fulfilled right now? And if you ask that questions, your dear mind will bring very kindly the list of this is why I can't be happy right now. Writing those down, seeing those are the typical triggers, and they also depend on the Enneagram type, so they can be different per
Mm.
person, but there are some general ones like I'm unimportant, nobody likes me, I feel rejected, I don't feel
Mm.
appreciated, there's never enough money, I'm worthless. I mean, there are quite some universal thoughts out there
Right.
that tend to happen to a bigger or lesser extent to everyone. So writing them down and then just being like a scientist and waiting for the next time they come up to then say, I caught you. There you are, number 3 on the list. And if you call it number 3 on the list rather than, oh my God, poor me, I have this thought, therefore I'm not self-realized. You don't fall into the trap anymore. And that is a big, big one that helps a lot as well. So
It
it's
gives
basically removing the obstacles,
ah,
and then it leaves you in the I am, in what we are.
gives you the opportunity to turn down that thought before you grab onto it.
Yes. Yeah. Because I know that after realization, especially this is one of the bigger challenges for people.
Let's segue into that. A lot of people that I've talked with who seemingly got it
Hmm.
and understand and know their true nature think that they've lost it again. The I got it, I lost it crowd, of which I was one for a long time. I got it and lost it umpteen times.
Yeah.
Seemingly. So of course you
Hmm.
can't lose what you already and forever and infinitely are. So it's kind
Yeah.
of a sad, sick joke in a way. Um,
It is. Yeah.
what so what are some of the challenges that you've seen either in your own experience or with others that you've worked with post-realization who maybe thought they got it? Oh, I've lost it, Rami. I don't know what to do. I don't feel that anymore. What can you tell us about that
Yeah.
side of things?
I think this may be the biggest one, the biggest obstacle I have observed. Um, and it also sometimes comes with, I know what I am. Why am I still suffering? Like
Mm,
it's almost like a complaint, like something is not right because I'm still unhappy or I am unhappy. I'm not as blissful as I think I should be. So those are some of the comments that I have received, and rightly so, right? I really understand
hmm
that desperation. This I had this blissful feeling, and now feels like before.
hmm
So what I tend to say is, first of all, most people that have realized their true nature are grown-ups, in my experience,
mm,
meaning they had a whole lifetime of programming. That's just how it is, right? From childhood on, school, teachers, parents, all of that, society, you're programmed. It is basically mind control. And it's
hmm
also a bit much to expect that all these years of programming just disappear like that. In the moment, if you know what you are, you will see they have never existed really in the first place. So that doesn't only free you right here and now, it doesn't only free you from future pain. It immediately takes away all the past pain as well. Once you realize what you are, that the past is gone because you realize even that has never touched what I am. It can't. It cannot touch it. So that is just a realization that people often have in the moment they realize their true nature. And it's just the kind thing to do, I think, also especially to oneself, to permit that this momentum has to run out like a ventilator, right? That you unplug and it still keeps running a little bit. It has to run its course, it has to run out. And that's how I compare the big triggers of, hey, why am I still unhappy? Why is this trigger still triggering the I, the ego, the psychological suffering? Um, this is one, so be kind to yourself and accept that it's how it is at the moment. And also see it comes, it's here, and it passes. It always passes. It never stays. Even if you try to hold on to it, no negative experience ever stays, really.
hmm
And then to see the difference between permanent and impermanent. That is usually my advice. So the impermanent is the experience coming and going, including the bliss.
hmm
And the permanent is the one so-called in the background, which actually then moves to the foreground, which is what never changes. And that is just a little knack. It's a little difference of perception that you will become good at, but you have to maybe do a couple of times in the beginning in a sort of conscious way,
hmm
um, which is the shift from thinking that an experience is it, the way you feel is it, to no, it's not that, it's what you are.
Well, I'm self-realized. I should be in absolute ecstasy and bliss
Yeah,
all the time.
yeah,
It's a very mismatched expectation. That's another part of the conditioning also, because we hear about other people's experiences. People say, "Well, why didn't I bliss out for 2 years and sit on a park bench like Eckhart
yeah,
Tolle?"
yeah.
Um, things things like that. Um,
Yes.
what about the expectations that people bring to self-realization? What you just described is a result maybe of mismatched expectations.
Yeah,
It should be like this. I'm not feeling that, therefore I don't have it.
yeah, yeah. So it's really
How,
looking for, yeah.
what would
Mhm.
you say to somebody who brings you some expectations like, "Oh, I should be in bliss constantly"? Um,
Yeah.
what's your answer to that?
Okay. If if the shift is made, and this is something you can do consciously, from the senses to what you are in bliss and you are without needs. right away. So this is something that's always there and you can always access it anytime you like. That's my experience. So
Hmm.
it's both true and not true. On the one hand, I have to laugh indeed if someone has the expectation of, hey, it should always be blissful. Sounds familiar to me. I also thought that. I also thought you wouldn't have any thoughts anymore.
Ah,
You know,
that's another popular one.
that's
Yes.
another one. Yeah, not true. At least not in my experience. Um, it is really to look right, like to look correctly. From where are you looking? Not what are you looking at, but who's looking, what is looking, and
Hmm.
what is looking. If the attention goes there rather than out into the world, my experience is immediate ananda, quiet joy, the peace of nothing wrong.
Hmm.
I have tested this, I don't know how many times, just to prove it wrong. Middle of the night, during a conflict, at work, driving, doesn't matter when and where, it's always there because it's who we are.
Yeah. Your very nature is
Yeah,
the peace
that's
and
it. Yeah.
and bliss as well. People misunderstand bliss. They think it's like some kind of high ecstasy state. And there are degrees of bliss, of course,
Yes,
but
yes.
I found that if you go into your true nature and you realize that again and again and again, keep realizing it, keep looking
Yeah.
at that,
Keep looking. Yes.
there's
Yeah.
nothing wrong, which is really what happiness is
Yes,
joy.
exactly. That's
When
right.
there's the ease of being. Being is always at ease. It's never stressed. It has no
No.
marks of the past.
Yeah.
It's always pristine, untouched,
Yeah.
infinite, still, quiet.
Yeah.
So, oh, my thoughts are bugging me. The silence has gone. Well, has it? The silence never left. Go look.
That's it. Go look. Yeah.
Yeah,
Essence is always at ease.
it's it's like that. If you view the body and the mind kind of like a virtual reality goggles with
Mhm.
ears and a complete sensory experience, though,
Yes.
it's feeding you sensations,
Mhm.
perceptions, thoughts, emotions, and awareness, effortless being, are aware of all of that,
Yeah.
but it's not you. And we could be subtly giving energy to
Hmm.
the thoughts and the emotions by over attention to them or
Yeah.
feeding them in some way. But if you stay in that space, I found of who you really are, the energy dies
It
and the
does.
thoughts wind, they have a momentum and they just wind down. The
Okay.
emotions have a
Constant.
momentum, even the strongest ones. They're
Yeah.
just sensations in the body. If you just look at them without a story behind them, don't say, well, this is depression. You just
Yeah.
feel that, and it's just energy and
Yeah.
it just dissipates. And you're like,
Exactly.
a few minutes later, it's like, where did that go?
Yeah.
The thought
That's right.
now it's quiet here.
Hmm.
It's
That's right.
yeah. So I think that's wonderful advice. Go back and feel and see who you are again. That
Yeah.
you're not the thoughts are coming, but they're not you.
No.
The emotions arise, they're not you. They're
Not
appearing
even yours.
to
They're not
you.
even yours. Yeah.
They're just appearances. They come and they go. Yeah, it's you can't lose who you are.
No. I tried. I really tried. You can't. You really cannot. You are always that. You always, it's one constant thing, always.
Mhm.
And
That is
that
the
is
only
immediately
constant. Yeah, the only
so,
permanence.
yeah, it's what
Mhm.
we've always been looking for. So sometimes I'm also getting the question like, what changed before and after? Nothing and
Mm.
everything.
Well, tell me more about that.
Yeah.
What were some of the differences, like say in anxiety or stress or whatever
Hmm.
pre-realization Rami
Hmm.
experienced? How did that shift for you
Yeah. Let me just look at if I have an example.
with his
Um,
work or daily life or you know
yeah.
people often have different kinds of suffering. Some people have depression or stress, anxiety,
Mm-hmm.
just a constant hum of worry in the background, maybe.
Yeah,
Um,
that's the one actually.
oh,
So diagram type 6. So that's normally the constant worry in the background. it's the risk avoiding, worst case scenario, painting, inner talk, inner conversation. That's one of the main features. But
Hmm.
it doesn't have to do with Enneagram as such. Anyone who feels anxiety, worry, or the constant hum of that can probably identify with it. So what didn't happen was that I was floating on a cloud. I became a saint and never got angry anymore. It's also maybe good to mention. That is something I thought, right? You will always smile, whatever people throw at you, insults, almost car crashes, whatever, that you just, happily float through it. That's not my experience. It may be the experience of an Eckhart Tolle or Byron Katie who also had a mental breakdown, like they went really all the way down. Something happened, and then they really had to relearn to function in society. And I think for most of us, we have this gradual awakening,
Hmm.
which is also a little bit kinder. It's not as radical. So there may be a difference, right, in
Hmm.
experiencing the but my experience is that at least 90% of psychological suffering does drop. So on the one hand, nothing changes, and you're really surprised, like, wow, I'm still myself. I still feel the same. No shit, Sherlock, because you are still the same. You always have been this.
Hmm.
So that realization was a big shock, that in a good way, that what I thought I am, this sense of presence, the sense of being, which is the same when you're 4 years old, 10 years old, or current age, that very sense, that is it. That was the most important thing to realize. That is really it. And that doesn't change because it can't, it doesn't have to.
Hmm.
But what is it? What are its attributes? No boundaries, no gender, no age, no physical attributes at all in that sense, right? Pure aliveness, beingness, awareness, this pulsating sort of joy of this, the realization of being, and you don't even know how that's possible. This miracle that is all there, and then within you, all of the other things are happening. So that goes from almost nothing change it because I feel the same to whoa, the whole world is within me. How can what what a miracle is this? So in that sense, everything changed. And then with the 90% of psychological suffering removed, if you realize what you are, you also realize what everyone else is.
Ah. Hmm.
Same thing. So there's a lot of compassion, there's a lot of understanding of the pain that others have because of the voice in their head that they believe to be them.
Hmm.
That's one. So you know what they are not, and you can be more compassionate to also understand that as long as they don't know that, they will also do whatever they do, what the ego tells them, because they think that's what they are, and they need to survive. So there's this. And at the same time, you realize it is the same as what you are, right? It's the
Hmm.
same thing. It's one thing. And if that doesn't drop anxiety, I don't know what does. Because, yeah, I think if you talk about the momentum, what is left is maybe a sort of energy. It's maybe high-strung energy. But you don't call it, you don't label it anxiety anymore. It's a different type of energy. That's all it is. And you just
Hmm.
notice, and you can call it adrenaline or excitement. And all of a sudden, it's not scary. It's not a fearful
Hmm.
thing. It's not anxiety. It's excitement. Like, oh, totally different experience.
Hmm.
And so that is one example. If you talk about anxiety, if you talk about work, what can happen with the worry and wanting to do things right, not wanting to be surprised by a situation that you don't think you can face, or that you're not able to respond to correctly. Those are some common fears, right? That's also why people want to keep things in the same as much as possible, don't really like changes, don't want surprises, because they want to be in control of what's going on. Now, that's a very
Yes.
natural ego uh, way of, yeah, it's a survival mechanism. And that can lead to a whole list of to-dos in your head. I still have to do this, this, this. I failed here because I didn't do this on time. Next week I have to do that. And this feeling of everything is on my shoulders, responsibility, duty. Those are some qualities some people also have, and that can weigh them down. Difference post-realization is you literally are right here, right now. And you only do what's coming into your head, into your inbox, into your phone, into your laptop right now. And it may feel scary to the mind thinking, oh my God, if you don't think about everything else simultaneously, how are you going to keep up? But that's actually a trick of the mind, I find out. It's the devil,
Hmm.
creating the experience you don't want to have by
Yes.
telling you you will avoid it by keeping everything, all the plates up in the air, juggling everything. And that is my experience. So there's an email and you touch it once and that's it. So it's not postponed, it's not put in a folder, it's not halfway answering. No, it's completely done. Sent over. Most of the things you can do that way. You touch them only once.
Hmm.
Then the person appears next to you. Oh, that's what happens. Full focus on the person. And then the quality of communication, of conversation is so much better because you're really there, you're present, that most of the times, whatever the question was or whatever was going on, the situation, totally solved. And then you can delete it and the mind gets more space. It's almost like cleaning your house. It's a nice feeling of, okay, done, done. And that's basically how it works. It's that's one example on the difference at work. You
There's only
only
ever one thing to do.
only ever one thing to do. And really you don't ever do anything.
True.
So you're
Things
actually
happen.
watching how it's being done.
Things
And that's
happen.
all
There's
the
no
time.
doer.
Yeah. Especially if there are like meetings or presentations where like, oh, I'm not quite sure. I'm not 100%, I don't know, knowledgeable, or I don't know how this will end, or there's a risk. That was a huge cause for anxiety in the past.
Mm.
And that has been replaced by curiosity. Let's see how
Oh.
she will do this. She, Romy. And basically, she, Romy, who's saying that that's the ego in a way, right? Let's see how
Hmm.
she does it. Because in reality, it's not the ego who does it. It's being done through effortless being.
Your description so closely mirrors my own
Yeah?
experience with that. And I've commented before on the subsequent lack of ambition because of that. Because the
Yes.
Michael character, I- things arise. The Michael character is also an appearance within
Yeah.
me, the real me, not Michael character is the imaginary me.
Yeah.
And the Michael character does things, and people appear with the Michael character, emails appear with the Michael character, and things happen. There's no one doing anything. What a complete ease of being. But along with that comes the complete lack of care for the Michael character's career growth,
Yeah.
ambition. Not that I was really highly ambitious to start with, but after self-realization, it's like it really fell away completely.
Yeah.
And you work, I believe, in a corporate
Hmm.
environment as I do.
Yeah.
What has your experience with ambition specifically around
Ah,
that? Does your experience mirror what I've felt, or is it different?
totally. Yeah, it
Okay.
does. It's the same. It's the same. And that's just an interesting coincidence, which, coincidences don't exist apparently. It's a synchronicity. But no, this week actually, I was invited to an award show because for like 5 years in a row, we have been winning the most customer-friendly company of the Netherlands.
Ah.
Like each year consecutively, every year we went away with the award. And that's my department, and it's also all the stores of the company. So it's working together. It's like 8,000 stores. So
Ooh.
in the world, but in the
Uh-huh.
Netherlands, it's less than that. It's maybe 800.
Okay.
Still, there's a panel of customers that judge, and it's nothing you can buy, right? It's not one of those prizes you pay 25K and you win. This is really objectively done by customers. And my colleague was there. And this year we were on the third prize. So out of all companies, still number three, which is amazing.
That's great.
I have nothing, no competition, no, there was nothing like, we have to be number one. So the colleague was really not amused. Like the whole evening was almost ruined, you know. And I was like, shouldn't I feel this? Shouldn't I have ambition? Shouldn't I, you want to be number one? I really, it's not there. There was happiness for the one who was winning that had never even been in the top three before. There was this like, oh, it's cool because now we have something to fight for in a good way, like something to put energy in.
Hmm.
There was this automatic, optimistic look at the whole thing. And so, yes, I completely mirror what you're saying because there's a little voice saying, oh, but if you're in a position that you are in, I'm on a director level in the company, shouldn't you
Hmm.
have this?
Hmm.
I don't. I really, it's like I'm missing the gene all of a sudden. But I talked about that with a colleague because I was like, this is what's being observed.
Hmm.
And then the colleague asked me a good question. It was like, but how do you then maintain the high quality of work of your department, which is still the case? Like, it's not that that's dropping all of a sudden, but that really has everything to do with um, just the joy of creating perfection.
Mm.
But it has nothing to do with envy, comparison, or competition. It's more like if you're making a painting or you create a beautiful garden or something like that, that it's very pleasing somehow to make the most beautiful version of it that can come through your fingers or out of your thoughts. I don't know where it's coming from. I know where it's coming from.
Yes, yes.
So it's a joy of creation, which in turn also inspires everyone else around you to wanting to do the same because it's really the reward is in doing it. And then the result is just a byproduct. It just happens by itself.
It sounds like the quality of effortless being
Yeah.
kind of weaves into there. So it's not a white knuckle, teeth clenched, driven thing we're doing with a lot of negativity around it and worrying, anxiety. Will this work? Will it not work? Well, am I going to get fired if this doesn't work? It's more,
Yeah.
it springs from a ground of peace. And I found
Yeah.
in business too, nothing good ever comes from decisions that are made through fear or
No,
anxiety
no, never,
because
never.
it carries the tenor of that feeling through the whole. Some people are sensitive to that, others are not. But
Yeah.
you could tell, yeah, that decision was based on fear. It's not going to go well, or it
No,
doesn't go as well as it could have had
100%.
it come from the other place.
Even taking a new job, I've seen it so
Ah.
many times around me. If it's out of negativity, because you hate something that's going on in your current one and you just want to get
Mhm.
away, or also maybe secretly you want to punish your colleagues or your boss by leaving. Like, do it without me. 9 out of 10 times the new job isn't quite it either. But if it's coming out of joy, out of, ooh, this feels great, this feels
Mhm.
expansive, this feels like, oh yeah, I want to do this, then it will I'm actually always be a success. Yeah.
I've found that some people, not some in work, because I manage people and
Mhm.
I talk to them about their own issues and try to help them through various things. Most of what I deal with is like relationships between colleagues, how to work better with people.
Oh yeah.
It's not the work itself I focus on so much. The problems mostly arise in the relationship realm. So I find myself being a counselor of sorts sometimes.
Mhm.
Um, but some people just don't understand the contentment that
Exactly.
I have, and that in personal life as well. They say, "Are you just content, just doing X, Y, or Z? Is that?" you know, why aren't you just striving where's that need? It's like you see what they're saying is you seem too happy. What's wrong with you?
Correct. That's it. Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
or it's like you're content with things as they are. You shouldn't be. Not that they're
Mhm.
bad, but it could always be better.
Yeah.
In some way. Of course, when situations arise, problems arise, you take care of them. You take
Mhm.
care of them. You
Yeah.
being effortless being, the character seems to take care of things. Really, it's effortless being running the whole movie. Things get taken care of. That's a better way to say it. So there's no need to, I found, to worry about taking care of it. Things happen. Things get taken care of. Actions happen. Decisions are made. No one's making them.
No.
Decisions happen. But people who don't share the self-realized point of view seem to have a problem with people who are too content.
That's
Like,
so well said. I never really noticed. I noticed, but I never gave it the
it's like,
time
are you
of day
mental
to
or
think
something?
about it.
Why are you
Yeah,
happy? Why are you
completely
content?
right.
You seem
Completely.
okay. What's wrong?
Yeah. But why? Like, why are you happy?
Right.
Like, how are you doing? And you say, oh, great. But why?
Well, people who are too happy end up in the insane asylum,
Yeah, 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 yeah. The whole joy is being happy without a reason. That's the whole point.
Uncaused joy. Yes,
God,
yes.
yeah. But
So
that's difficult to
have you
sort of.
found that people sometimes just don't get why you're content? Like I found that in my experience.
Yeah, I do have to say I play the role sometimes. So I just think of because the sun is shining, or just to end the discussion because
Just a nice day. Yeah.
yes, it's a nice day, or the work is flowing beautifully. I'm really happy at home, or whatever. Sometimes it's easier to play along, I find.
hmm
So
hmm
not for people that are close to or interested in self-realization, of course not. Then I would explain more. But in the general day to day, I find that sometimes it's easier just to say, yeah,
hmm
great.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. It's such a funny thing.
It is.
I get very amused sometimes by that. Now, it's not to say, let's talk about the shadow side of things.
Mhm.
People will say, well, you're still feeling these things. You're not self-realized fully all the time. Irritation,
Mhm.
annoyance. My personal, I made a video about my changes after self-realization. One of the things I included was things that have not changed. I
Mhm.
have not become the world's most patient person. There's a lot of hardwired stuff.
Yeah.
Maybe this is an Enneagram type. I don't know. But
Mhm.
some body and minds have things that have, worn a good rut
Mhm.
into the personality that's been there for decades. And most of the time, those things aren't going to go away overnight. Lack of patience is one of them for me. But how can you not be like the Buddha and just have a smile on your face for every situation and be at peace with everything going on in the middle of, things that are that the mind has judged to be bad. So these some of these things still arise depending on situations. Now, most of them has gone away. My big one that went away when I was younger, very like a kid, I had a lot of anxiety. I was never treated for that or anything to that level. Of course, I've been around for a while, so that didn't exist much in my old days. But that anxiety totally went away. That was my big one. But little things like sometimes impatience or irritation or annoyance, things like that, arise. But
Mhm.
again, it's not me,
Oh,
pristine, effortless being doesn't get annoyed. It allows everything to be as it is. It's a character that gets annoyed.
exactly.
And
Yeah.
the character is an appearance within the
Yeah.
awareness as well. So some of these traits linger
Hmm.
more than others for me. How has your experience been in these areas? Are there any well-worn ruts that have taken longer to fade out than others? I will say, like for me, I will say if they arise, they don't hang around long.
That's what was I going to
If
say.
anger can come, but
Yeah.
it maybe doesn't last, but
No.
almost seconds in some cases. It
Exactly.
certainly doesn't linger for, oh, yesterday somebody did this. No,
Exactly. That's
it
it.
goes as almost as quickly as it came most of the time. So I've noticed that.
Yeah.
Um, it I could go long periods of time like, oh, that hasn't happened in a long time.
Yes.
What happened to
Yeah.
that? That's
Exactly.
interesting.
Yeah.
You don't try to get rid of it. It's just like, oh,
No,
that's not there anymore. Where did that go?
that's it. That's
Yeah.
it.
So tell me about your experience in some of
Yeah.
these lingering
Yeah.
areas.
Yeah.
Because I know some
Exactly.
people are very
Exactly
concerned
what.
about these. I'm still feeling irritated sometimes.
Yeah.
Well, okay.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. But first of all, you may have also seen people that have the spiritual ego, right? That
mm,
just force themselves into this jacket of now I'm a saint, I'll never get angry, and you have this false smile all the time, and you feel like this repressed anger or sadness or whatever, but they, they sort of subscribe to a sort of image of this is how you should be acting if you're a spiritual person. And a
mm.
spiritual ego is one of the most horrible to deal with, to be honest.
Oh,
I'd rather have
yes.
someone that's not spiritual at all and is just regular. So it's a misconception, I think, to think that these emotions wouldn't happen anymore in our avatar, in our, car or whatever this
Hmm.
thing is that drives us around this planet. Of course, it does what it always did. Different body shapes, different body types, different emotions in terms of where the root is. Is it anger? Is it sadness? Or is it fear? Because that's also the three main ones that we all have our rooting in some way or another.
Hmm.
The ego, of course, not what we really are. So you also know the parable of Jesus that got angry and threw the merchants, or what was it,
Hmm.
out of the house. I don't know what the story
Well,
was.
he's not supposed to get angry.
Come on, Nisargadatta, where
Yeah,
they
where's
had
the
the cut,
compassion in throwing those
right?
people out?
Yeah, I think that's really just one of those fake news. It's fake news.
Uh,
It has been made up somehow along the ages, probably along the centuries. This is how you should act
hmm.
when self-realized. Nisargadatta Maharaj, who was smoking, like chain smoking cigarettes, who was swearing and cursing, and they had to edit the documentary and cut out a lot of because he was swearing. Like, his, I mean, seeing, looking, hearing what he said, it's one of the most, the clearest messages or messengers you could imagine.
He makes
So,
my irritation look tame, actually. I've seen
right?
some.
Yeah, for
That's a
sure.
great
So,
example, actually. Nisargadatta. Yeah.
yeah, it's incredible. So there's no doubt whatsoever that he's self-realized. So throw it out. Like that was what I would say to people, like throw away this whole this is how it should look, because that's BS. That
Yeah.
really is ridiculous. What I have found is the exact same thing that you have found. It's like this. So most of the times what happens is appropriate to the situation, because it will generate a boundary that is very healthy at that moment.
Mm,
Or it will create clarity, which is what is needed right at that moment.
mm,
So that you won't be manipulated, people won't walk all over you. Totally, most of the times, totally what is needed in that situation. But where I years ago could hold a grudge for a long time, right?
oh.
That is just gone. Like I literally forget what happened. That sometimes you see someone again and then you're like, what's that? I don't know. And then you really have to work hard to recreate the situation and then remind yourself like I should be whatever, annoyed, angry, upset, impatient because, but I find that that is just dropping away. It's just going. And because of that, because it's really not there, you're not suppressing it. It's just, it happened in a moment and it's over.
Hmm.
The energy around you changes as well. So even if the person that it's concerned, yeah, that this happened with, is not in the room with you, they somehow feel the different energy. I'm convinced of that because the moment you see each other again, it's all fine. So even I think if they would like to hold a grudge, they also can't because there is nothing to hold on to for the grudge or for blame or for guilt or guilt tripping or all of that.
The shared energetic implications of this are astounding. And
Unbelievable.
I'm interested in these. I've only begun to scratch the surface.
Yeah, I can't
Because
explain.
we're all one. There's one infinite awareness. There's not a
Yeah,
bunch of infinite awarenesses walking around.
no.
Infinite being. How many infinite beings can there be? There's
Yeah,
only
yes,
that's our shared oneness. People are
correct.
hunting for oneness. That's it.
Yeah,
It's who you are. That's the
yeah,
oneness. It's manifesting in the diversity and
yeah,
multiplicity of all of these forms.
exactly.
Um, and
But then,
it's
yeah,
yeah, and one you're some people say, well, it's your vibration. These are different ways of explaining what's going on. No matter how you explain it intellectually, it's you have a profound effect on other people and the situations and the world and
absolutely.
everything.
Yeah,
When one person realizes their true nature, it undoubtedly helps everybody else. And from the minor effects that we can see, as you mentioned, though people can't hold a grudge either, because I don't. This is an interesting area for
oh,
exploration.
oh
I'm
my,
very,
yes,
I
totally. This is the next one to,
yeah, um
yeah,
I don't know where I'll go with that. I want to do something with it.
yeah. Maybe we have to have this like a dedicated topic for one of the talks,
Yeah,
because the one
yeah.
that comes into this is the work of Byron Katie. Like
Yes.
the practical way, this is exactly it. This affects it right away.
For those who aren't familiar with Byron Katie, would you be comfortable giving a quick rundown of Byron
Mhm.
Katie?
So I would really recommend thework.com to check the
Hmm.
website. And she's been around for decades by now. And I would call her the female Eckhart Tolle.
Hmm.
So she was like all anxieties, depression, um, agoraphobic. No, how do you call it? If you can't
Where
go
she
outside.
stayed in her house and didn't want
Yeah,
to leave.
exactly.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think that's agoraphobia. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So the worst of it was taken to a halfway house and had self-realization there without having ever been interested in anything spiritual at all. So and it totally broke down the second me, the little me, and yeah, one of the most bright, I would say, appearances, just like Eckhart Tolle in this area. And she never really talks about non-duality, but it's totally clear that she's self-realized. And what she did, she got a sort of the message came through her, which is the 4 questions of the work. And it's a whole worksheet. You can download it on the website. It's for free, and you can do it there. And basically, the idea is that you judge your neighbor in the most vile way you can, like really unkind, like anything the mind comes up with, really childish. Don't be, really petty. All of it on paper. The worse, the better. I can
Hmm.
really recommend it. And then if you do the work and you answer the questions, you get to the turnarounds. You will see if you look at the website. Um, it does change the energy with the other person. Yeah, in my experience, 100% of the time.
Hmm.
I had colleagues of mine doing it. They didn't speak to their sister for years, like not even on speaking terms. And the sister didn't know that she did the work. They never, since they didn't speak, she also didn't tell her. And now they go on vacation together.
Oh, wonderful.
Unbelievable. And this is for me like, yes, I know what I am and I feel it. And, the experience is very clear. And the non-experience, it doesn't matter if you experience it or not, you know what you are.
Hmm.
But these things in the so-called real life, like on this planet, if it happens there also in that human experience, that is always still mind-blowing to me because it's like an extra proof of this really works. This is actually true. So those, like what you were saying, those are the gold nuggets of, it even materializes in the relative.
Yes.
That's unbelievable. So valuable.
I don't know Byron Katie's work that well. I investigated it years ago, but I love how the whole premise is questioning assumptions, basically. These things, but do you know they're really true or not? Are they actually true? And you go into
Exactly.
that, and
Yeah.
it's a
Yeah.
great supplement. for
Supplement for sure. Yeah.
some of these
Also
things
for me, this
that we do.
was not, it was not what brought me self-realization in hindsight.
Hmm.
If people think they are not self-realized, they should do the work on that. So don't do the work on annoying co-workers, exes, or sisters-in-law, or whatever. Do the work only on non-duality. Do it on, I will never get this. This is not for me. Self-realization is impossible. All of the, anything you can think of, anything the mind tells you why you cannot be the one that self-realizes. And really, if you do the work on that, it's mind-blowing,
I'm such
literally.
an asshole. Maybe in the next life.
All
Like,
of that. Yeah, can't be exactly, there's 300 lives to go. I'm not good enough. Big one. I'm not good enough. I'm,
there's
I'm not
a big one.
loving enough. I need to have certain qualities. Oh, it's not allowed to lie or get angry or cheat or whatever. If you ever have done any of these things, you can't get realized. There's so much programming going on.
Oh,
Uh, I need to love everybody, or my parents don't love me, therefore I am not worthy. All of it.
you mentioned the programming. We,
Yeah.
we we talk a lot in we people in the
Mm.
world talk a lot about the programming and indoctrination, various political, religious, other kinds of indoctrination. The we the most insidious indoctrination is the one that we're dealing with today, which is they've convinced everybody that there are these individual separate cells battling against a hostile universe, and they have to, have anxiety and suffer. And I mean, what horrible indoctrination is that? That's the worst one of all.
Yeah.
And yeah, I want to do a video sometime about the subversive nature of
Mm.
non-duality. It's the most subversive thing
Ooh.
out
Yeah.
there because the
Yeah.
entire structure of humanity, government,
Yeah.
social structures, education, healthcare, everything is built on the premise of the separate individual self. And non-duality takes a cannonball to
That's the
that.
linchpin.
And
It
if you
is the
knock
linchpin.
that out, the whole edifice
Yes.
crumbles.
Yeah.
Because if there are no separate people running around competing and doing things to each other, what does that imply for all the other areas of life? So we're actually talking about something that's quite subversive, and I
Yes.
love that.
Yes. And we are lucky, so to speak, quotes, quotation marks, that if you look at the algorithm of YouTube, we would be in the corner of spiritual weirdos, not
Mm.
interesting. If the algorithm would really understand what we're saying here,
Oh, we'd be banned
we would be banned.
because it gets
Yeah,
to the heart of not only different types of indoctrination, but the entire edifice of indoctrination.
whole thing.
Because everything else is built on the theory
Yeah,
and the belief in this separate suffering individual.
yeah,
And once that goes, what's left?
that's it. It's so radical. This is it. This is really
It's
the
the most
linchpin.
highly radical thing ever in the
Yeah,
history of anything in
yeah,
humanity,
yeah.
which is why I love talking about these things.
Me
People are like,
too.
why do you like to talk about this stuff? Most people don't get it. Most people aren't interested in these things. Well, because it doesn't take millions and billions of people to get this to enact some kind of change.
That's right.
It takes a
Yeah.
very few with this profound understanding to and that force can't be resisted. It's an
No.
it's an irresistible force in the
Yeah.
world. So,
Yeah.
Eckhart Tolle, I think, talks about the new earth. It doesn't take a lot of people getting this because the energy behind it is so radically powerful.
Absolutely.
And more people are catching fire, if I could use that
Oh,
metaphor,
yes.
catch fire
Beautiful.
with this. And to profoundly affect humanity and beyond. It doesn't take that many matches to light a bonfire.
No,
Just one.
just one. I love talking about this so much. Yeah. because it's nothing and it's everything at the same time. This is it. This
Yeah.
is really, yeah.
Yeah. To the outside observer, it seems like such a niche thing. Oh, y'all are talking about philosophy or something, right? Well,
Yeah.
to people who don't understand this stuff, and I don't get the feeling that they would. If an opening's there, I'll talk to them about it. But most of the time, it's like, yeah, yeah, it's philosophy. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, yeah. If it makes you happy,
Yeah,
right?
just chatting about life. Yeah, yeah, okay. What do you talk about, Michael? I just well, just we just talk a little philosophy.
Yeah,
They don't realize
yeah,
how radical and completely world changing this is.
yeah,
And it's I have so much fun with that.
yeah. Me too. So, yeah, couldn't have said it better.
Yeah, well, if some people are who have this understanding don't feel the need to talk about it. They just quietly go on with their lives, and you never know anything was different about them necessarily. To the casual observer, they may look and act exactly as they did before. But I feel compelled, unlike some, to talk about this
Yeah.
stuff for whatever reason. This character wants to put
Hmm.
that out there. Um, do you feel something similar? Is that your experience as well?
Yeah, same experience. Yeah. And especially with you, like especially having this podcast, and I don't know, so it's just if you get each other in such a way, things start coming out that are so valuable. I don't have the feeling that I want to talk about this message to anyone, like to everyone. The typical, like, you want to give the tapes to everyone. You have to listen to this or read this book.
Yeah.
Maybe in the beginning, a couple of weeks, then it became exhausting and sort of hopeless. And it's also like I'm really looking at the intuition here. Is something coming from inside wants to be out, or is something coming out of sort of dutifulness, feeling like I have to do this now? And if it's the second, I'm not doing it because it's not a real thing. It just doesn't feel right. So yeah, also for example, I'd also do the work with people, and I almost don't want to do it anymore about the annoying neighbor or the road rage person. I still do it, but only if people ask me to do it. But it's the main thing is this. It's like this, and I don't want to talk about anything else anymore. This is it. If
That's the
that makes sense.
essence coming
Yeah,
in too.
yeah,
The people who need to hear it and contact you or
yes,
look at a video or read a book, it finds them.
yeah.
And if once that fire catches, they can't get away from it.
No,
It's not like you've got to go proselytize anything. You don't have
no,
to stand on the street corner and shout the glories of non-duality. It doesn't work like that.
no,
There's a vast intelligence working behind the scenes that will point
yeah,
people in the right direction when it's the right time for
yeah,
them. And so whoever needs to find this video or any other or a podcast or your book or they will
yeah,
when it's right for them and meaningful.
yeah.
But and using your intuition is fantastic. I do the same. There are select few people that I run across in life, very few,
Very
that
few.
I
Yeah,
can hold a conversation with. Oh, this person seems to be open to this sort of thing. Let's test the waters on
yeah,
that.
yeah.
Especially if they come to like, well, I'm sick of suffering in this way, or um, they are into meditation or something
Mhm.
like that, and they've had some kind of strange experience they want to share.
Yeah,
But, I'm
yeah.
actually very selective. I don't,
Hmm.
apart from this podcast, I don't talk about it very
No.
often with
Yeah,
people.
yeah.
Um, Maybe a book will arise out of this at some
Mhm.
point. I don't know.
Yeah,
If
yeah.
the economy goes bad and they fire me, maybe I'll have time to write a book. I don't know.
Okay. Yeah,
It happened like that. Who knows? Um,
yeah,
but
yeah.
there's so much effortlessness to it, um,
Hmm.
like everything else.
Yeah.
Conversations arise effortlessly, just like everything else. So, I don't have to think about it. I
No.
know in the moment whether to pursue it or not.
That's exactly, yeah, you see the message and you know exactly like, oh,
Yeah.
Yes.
And
Or
if it's not if it's not the right time or the right person at that time, that's okay. It doesn't I don't say, oh dang. I don't get upset or sad about it. It's just
no.
the way that goes.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Yeah. I think something that shifted for me is also in the beginning, I really wanted to help everyone.
Yes.
Um, and and they come to you, they look for psychotherapy. So using effortless being or non-duality to solve the relationship problems or to solve depression or to solve money problems. So maybe calling it, I want to know who I am, but in reality, if you start talking, it's really about make my life better, make me
Improve
happy.
movie, please.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Right.
that there I'm also I do cut that off earlier now rather than at the end of the conversation. I say, hey, this is really not what I'm for.
Right.
The, in my experience, the byproduct is what you're looking for. But if this is the motive behind it, it's not likely going to work, in my experience. You have to be ruthless and really want to know the truth, nothing but the truth. If there's anything else behind it, in the sense of manifestation, wanting to be rich, wanting to be loved, wanting the person you are in love with to love you back, all of these things, if that's the root, it's still the ego that wants something. And
Yeah.
it's using non-duality to get there. And that's just, in my experience, doesn't work.
No.
And so, yeah.
It's I've had some people come and talk to me about things like that, and I've tried to point them back away from the stated problem to something deeper. Doesn't always work. In fact, most of the time it doesn't. Oh, I have money problems. Oh, okay, well, guess what? Self-realization is not going to give you a bigger checking account. It doesn't work
No,
like that.
no.
It's you might still have money problems. Who knows?
Yeah,
Movie plays
yeah.
out as the movie plays out. But the heaviness and the seriousness and the worry about those things drop away. The situations may not change at all.
No,
You're stuck in kind of a bad work environment. Relationships aren't that great. Money is a problem, but it's the suffering that comes from that.
yeah.
That's the part that goes away. The situations themselves may they
Hmm.
put momentum and they'll play out as they play out. The movie will go on as it's written. Um, but the character is no longer the one suffering. There's no character with a low checking account. Oh, I don't have enough money in the bank.
Yeah,
Well, who has no money in the bank?
yeah,
That's no one. The fact is there's not much money in the bank.
yeah.
Is that anyone's problem?
Hmm.
No. There's no one here who has that problem. There's just situation doesn't belong to anyone. That's more of the change.
Yeah.
But it's hard for, because people are so focused on the situation rather than
Hmm.
their true selves.
The
It's
main programming, there
hard
we
to
go
make
again.
that leap. It happens occasionally, or they'll use some kind of suffering. They're tired of suffering.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they want that peace at last.
Hmm. Yeah.
The suffering could help in some ways. In fact, I think Eckhart it's at some point said that the vast majority of humanity is on the path of suffering. That is their spiritual practice. To suffer in whatever way.
It's
They
true.
get sick of it and they
Yeah.
start looking for a way. Oh, I'm tired of
Yes.
suffering.
Yes.
The situations may stay the same. You may still be
Hmm.
unemployed and broke, but
Yeah. Yeah.
is there anyone suffering because of that? No,
Yeah.
it's a situation that needs handling. Like everything else, everything arises in life that needs handling. It gets handled. Who's handling it? No one. There's the magic.
Yeah. Not true. And I mean, if someone is really, really sick of suffering, like suffering in general, there often is an opening towards self-realization, right?
Mm.
So if, of course, the intuition tells me yes or no, there's a door here, a pathway. But yeah, most of the times it's not that. It's not that that existential being fed up with suffering. If that's the case, it's people are really close to waking up.
Yes.
If it's just about certain versions of it, and what I heard more than once is, I don't believe in no self, like in no ego.
Well, I'm
Yeah.
happy to hear that. You shouldn't make it a belief.
No, but really, it's
You
like,
don't
no,
have to believe.
and plus it would be boring. I want to keep my personality, my individuality, and
Uh,
you know,
they think it will
that's like one
disappear
of
in
the
a puff of
biggest.
smoke. It doesn't work that way either.
Yeah, no,
My personality is largely, in fact, it gives me more freedom to be the personality. I can play the
exactly.
game and the character of
Yeah,
Michael
yeah,
with more gusto than I ever
correct. That's right.
abandon and
Yeah,
childishness
yeah,
and
yeah.
fun.
So
Yeah,
cool.
it
Yeah,
gives
it's
me
more
great
proficient.
freedom to be the character even more. It's not the character dies,
Exactly.
I become a lump of
Correct.
smoke or something. I don't, it's,
Yeah.
it's again strange expectations.
Yeah. It's
Yeah,
always the paradox. It's always the paradox. Like, no, you're not it. No, it's not real. And the moment you realize that, it's even more proficient than before. Like,
right.
you enjoy it even more.
It's more
But that's
efficient.
the same with everything.
It just rolls without so many bumps in the road. It's fun.
Yeah.
Go back to fun and joy. It's more joyful. It's more playful.
Yeah.
Um, if and some people say, well, it shouldn't be there at all. Well, I don't know what that looks like. We've seen that.
I
You
would know.
disappear into the void. Okay, well, that may eventually happen.
Yeah.
You may
Yeah.
disappear
Yeah.
into oneness of
Mhm.
the void, and there's no individuality anymore of any kind. But until
Yeah.
then, we have a choice. We can be
Correct.
the infinite, aware, effortless being, or we
Yeah.
can be the person
Yeah.
who we never get lost in the person anymore. I can play
Yeah.
the person, but I don't. And sometimes the person will just go off, just
Mhm.
off into a weird tangent. But one nice thing about self-realization is that I don't get lost in it anymore. In fact,
Exactly.
sometimes I say, "Oh, I'm going to go have an adventure as the character now," and I'll go do that.
Exactly.
The doorway is always right here. I never lose
Yes.
it. Uh,
No.
yeah,
It's like David Bingham, the spiritual teacher, says, it's almost like having a pet.
yeah. That's a
So
great
cool.
analogy.
Yeah.
Have a pet is the character.
Yeah, exactly. You take care of it. You want it to be happy. You
You
feed
just
it,
got to take.
all of it. It has its antics.
Yeah, yeah. It runs around and does stuff, and you've got to
Yeah,
feed it and give it some water, and
yeah,
try not to
yeah,
kill it.
exactly.
Don't do anything stupid to it.
Don't do anything stupid. Have fun with it.
Yeah,
Play
yeah.
with it.
It's meant to be enjoyed.
Yeah.
Not as a drudgery. Oh, I'm trapped in this body. No, the body appears within you. You're not trapped anywhere. There's no you trapped. It's it's such a then my compassion rises when I hear things like that. Oh, I'm trapped in this body. And it's like,
Mm,
no, if you only saw, you're not.
no.
There's no you trapped anywhere. You're not trapped. You can't be trapped. Where will we put you? Infinite aware being? What kind of box will we invent for you? Uh, it's
Yeah.
yeah, I feel a lot of compassion for that.
Yeah.
Um, but once I would I give an encouraging word to people who just feel like that. I say, well, if the non-duality bug has got you, if you start to have an interest in these things, it won't let you go.
No.
It's done. It may not be
Yeah.
today, may not be tomorrow, but eventually, once the fire is lit, it will burn.
It will. 100%. Oh,
No
this is so
escape.
true. 100%. Or I think Ramana said it, is that your head is in the tiger's mouth.
Ah,
It's
yep.
that's what you mean, I think. That's exactly it. Like yeah, it's in there.
It's in there. Yep, you're done.
Good that you're saying that, because everybody who listens to this or sees this, this is the good news.
It
It
is.
it won't let go. It won't, the fire is lit. It's gonna happen.
You can't,
Yeah. I mean, look at the 80-90% of people who are not even interested in this, who don't even have the patience to listen to this, who are, yeah, it's already happening.
It is. Rami, it's been well over our hour.
Yes.
Is there anything
Oh,
else you'd
great.
like to say before we close out?
No, I just, let's have more of these, because it's so good, I
I
think,
so
to
enjoyed it. It's so great
yeah,
to talk with you again.
yeah,
Thank you so
yeah,
much.
yeah.
Yeah. And enjoy your night.
Thank you. You too.
Okay. Talk to you again soon. Bye
Okay,
bye.
bye. Bye bye.